The porch light was still on when I pulled into the driveway. Soft, golden, and wrong. It shouldn't have been on. Ben always turned it off before bed. Always. As I stepped out of the car, the night air clung to my skin, thick and cold, reeking faintly of cigarette smoke and dew. The clock on my dashboard had just struck 3:12 a.m. I had been gone all night. And yet, as I stood in the driveway, staring at the faint shadow moving behind the curtain, my chest tightened with something that felt a lot like dread. I'd told Ben I was staying at my friend Erica's after dinner. That part was true. At least for the first few hours. But then the wine, the music, the reckless nostalgia had dragged me into someone else's orbit. Someone who wasn't my husband. Now, as I walked up the front steps, every footfall echoed like a confession. The door was unlocked. That too wasn't right. Ben. My voice trembled. Silence answered me. Only the low hum of the refrigerator filled the living room. My purse strap slid off my shoulder and hit the hardwood floor with a hollow thud. The air inside was heavy, thicker than it should have been. And then I saw it. Ben's phone on the coffee table. Screen crack. A single notification glowing faintly through the spiderweb of glass. From unknown number. She's lying. My pulse slammed in my ears. Picked up the phone. The text had come in an hour ago. I whispered. What the hell? The stairs creaked above me. I turned sharply, eyes fixed on the dark hallway. A low thump echoed, like something falling over in the bedroom. Ben, I said again, quieter this time, as if speaking too loud would summon something I didn't want to see. No answer. My body moved before my brain did. I climbed the stairs, every step a heartbeat, every breath a punishment. My guilt pressed against my ribs until I could barely breathe. When I pushed open the bedroom door, the smell hit me first. Sweat, perfume, and something sharp underneath. A metallic tang. Ben was sitting on the edge of the bed. His eyes were red-rimmed, swollen. He looked like he hadn't blinked in hours. Where were you? His voice was a whisper, but it cut through me like glass. I told you. Erica's. He held up his phone. Erica called me. Midnight. Asked if I knew where you were. The words slipped out before I could stop them. Ben, don't lie. The command in his tone silenced me. Something inside me splintered then. The fragile scaffolding of excuses, the mental gymnastics I'd done all night to make what happened seem harmless. He stood up slowly, his face pale in the moonlight. You stayed out all night, Claire. And you didn't even bother to come home until now. Tears burned behind my eyes. I just needed space. We've been. He cut me off. Don't you dare make this about us. For a moment, all I could do was stare at him, at the hollow version of the man who'd once traced every inch of my soul with kindness. The silence between us was suffocating, thick with words we'd been avoiding for months. And then he said almost too softly, "Who is he?" I didn't answer. I didn't need to. The truth was written all over me. The trembling, the disheveled hair, the faint scent of someone else's cologne that no amount of guilt could wash away. Ben's jaw tightened. I read your messages. My stomach dropped. What? He nodded slowly. You left your iPad unlocked last week. I didn't want to look, but something told me to. The room spun. He'd known. All this time. And he'd waited. I wanted to believe you'd stop, he said. That maybe it was just a mistake. But tonight. His voice broke. You made sure it wasn't. Tears slid down my face, hot and silent. I didn't mean to hurt you. He laughed bitterly. That's the thing about betrayal, Claire. Nobody ever means to. He moved toward the dresser, opened the top drawer, and pulled something out, a small silver key. I frowned. I changed the locks, he said simply. Your things are packed downstairs. The floor vanished beneath me. Ben, please. Don't. His voice was flat now, hollowed out. You don't get to cry here anymore. I took a step toward him, desperate, broken. Ben, I love you. He looked at me then with eyes that had once been my home and whispered. No, Claire. You love the idea of being forgiven. The silence that followed was worse than shouting. I wanted to explain, to make him understand that I hadn't gone looking for someone else. That the loneliness had crept in slowly, quietly, until I was starving for something I couldn't name. But every word that formed in my throat felt like another lie. So I just stood there, shaking as he brushed past me and walked downstairs. I followed him, barely breathing, until I saw the front door open. Outside, the sky was beginning to pale, the faint blush of dawn spreading over our empty street. Ben didn't look back when he said, "He texted me, by the way." Froze. "What?" "The man you were with. He sent me a message. Said he felt sorry for me." My heart stuttered. He handed me his phone. On the screen was a message thread. "Unknown, she said she's leaving you tonight. Thought you deserved to know. Ben, who is this?" "Unknown. The man she said she'd spend the rest of her life with." The ground tilted. That wasn't him. The man I'd been with wouldn't have done that. He didn't even have Ben's number. Which meant, Ben's eyes flickered. "You still don't get it, do you?" He stepped closer, voice trembling. "I made that number. I sent those texts. I wanted to see what you'd do if you thought he was turning on you." The air left my lungs. You pretended to be." He smiled, broken and furious. "Now you know how it feels to be lied to." The words gutted me more than any scream could. He turned and walked inside, locking the door behind him. I stood on the porch, the cold morning biting through my clothes, realizing the terrifying truth. We hadn't just betrayed each other. We'd become reflections of the very lies we swore we'd never tell. And somewhere between guilt and revenge, love had finally died. Quietly, almost mercifully, while the porch light kept burning.